Let's see. Well, we're just gonna have to roll with that. I don't even know what that is. Okay. Hold on, guys. There we go. Maybe this is gonna work. Okay, anywho. Thank you for watching here on YouTube. At Blooming's Tribe, Blooming Light. Bear with me. I want to see if it allows. Um, uh, okay, maybe it helps. I don't know. Anywho, because we're seeing a lot of. Oh, that's why. Okay, so I'm gonna share again. Thank you for watching here on YouTube at Blooming Light, Blooming's Tribe. And I'm not gonna get into all the intros with this one. So this is a share. I'm gonna be sharing a content creator, and I need to do my disclaimers before I do that. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can even tag them. If that's allowed, if I can tag them or mention them, because something I just wanna attempt to start doing on certain platforms. I'm not attempting to come up off of them, stake claim on their intellectual creative property. I'm not in collaboration with them. I'm not being paid to share their stuff. They don't know me. And this is for informational, educational purposes. This is not replacement of any legal, professional, medical, financial guidance, advice, or counsel. Viewer, listener discretion should always be advised. You are an adult. Hopefully, if you're watching my stuff, you are an adult. And we should be responsible for our lives and the decisions that we're making. So, just wanted to say all of that. But we're going to share a content creator that I've been following primarily on YouTube. But it looks like they are here. Let me push this forward a little bit. Okay. Well, maybe that's why it looks like that. Anyway, they're on TikTok. Okay. Excuse me. So I want to share what they're talking about with narcissism, or if you're a survivor and you've dealt with a lot of abusive relationships, possibly with those who may be on the spectrum of narcissistic personality. And this video, he's talking about how they're messy, most of them. Some of them are anal retentive. It just depends on what type of narcissistic personality they might be struggling with. But the ones he's referencing here is really, they're very messy, even if it's just behind the scene, because, you know, they act different. You know, they have their different uniforms and characters depending on who they're performing for. Okay. But in terms of their target and the one that they are abusing, okay, he's talking about the messiness and the psychology behind that, as you know, if you've had to excessively clean, and then how they'll like clown you because it's messy, but then they're purposefully making mess. And I just want to say, even before I share the video, you can even equate this video to spirituality or energy, or even like harassment, like people that are like vandalism, you know, harassment, vandalism, those types of things. You can equate it to that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and play his video and just hear him out here, if I can get it.
Narcissists create mess on purpose. Wherever they go, chaos follows. They'll eat in bed and leave the plate right there, scatter trash around the house, or use the bathroom without even bothering to flush properly. It's not carelessness, it's calculated. They make things dirty and disorganized to silently increase your workload, to overwhelm you, and to keep you in a constant state of stress. Then, with zero shame, they turn around and blame you for the mess. They'll look you in the eye and ask, "What do you even do all day?" And just when you finally clean up, when the house is spotless and you've poured hours of effort into restoring some peace, they begin again. Spilling, scattering, slamming. Not by accident, but with quiet intent. Because the mess isn't the problem. You are. They want to break your spirit, your rhythm, your sense of control. This pattern is more than just physical clutter. It's psychological warfare. Narcissists know that mess breeds anxiety, and they exploit that to destabilize your mind. When your environment is in chaos, it becomes harder to think clearly, to rest, or to feel safe. They use this as a tactic to try.
I want to pause. You heard the lady say, when your environment is in chaos, it is harder for you. I need to rewind that because I'm going to expound on just that in a minute and explain something regarding targeted individuals and why they target the environment and why they target the environment the way they target the environment. Okay?
Is in chaos, it becomes harder to, and they exploit that to destabilize your mind. When your environment is in chaos, it becomes harder to think clearly, to rest, or to feel safe.
To think clearly, to rest, or to feel safe. To think clearly, to rest, or to feel safe. It becomes harder to think clearly, to feel safe, to rest. They know, which makes it brings the notion that even if the being that it's being occupied by the entity, whatever's ruling them knows it, that, you know, the attack of somebody's environment, okay, creates anxiety. If you can create chaos in their environment, it creates anxiety, chaos, filth, okay, vandalism, dirty diapers, bags of potato chips, okay? So I wanted to equate it to all forms because, you know, in his example, he's using, you know, someone that may live with somebody and that, you know, that may be on the spectrum and kind of what that looks like. And the exhaustion, the constant cleaning, you know, they like having that feeling, a sense of control, and it keeps you distracted. See, it is not for nothing. You know, these acts are made to look like no big deals. They really are to the two-dimensional surface mind, or maybe the three-dimensional at best. Okay, but it is designed to look like something harmless, isn't it? Now, in his case, he's looking, you know, his example, it was like filth, you know, and the person just keeps cleaning and then they keep being attacked because when it's a mess, and they're not even the one that's responsible for the mess, but then they're attacked because why is it always a mess? It's always a mess because someone else is always making it. You can even equate this to, you know, energetic work. You know, those of us who know that there are people that are into the dark arts, they will be doing that type of stuff, chaos and conflict spells, and messy spells, clutter spells, filth spells, you know, entities behind all of that to basically either influence the people in your home who are vulnerable and open and susceptible, but beyond that, you know, just this energy created of no matter what you do, there's filth, there's nastiness, there's infestation, you know, because they know that that's going to create anxiety. Who wants to be in an infested place? Anybody with their sound mind, who wants to live in that? It's all by design. All of these individuals are being instructed Most of them anyway, with the exception of, like I said, when it's just something personal and that person just happens to have maybe narcissism. And so the entities that these, parasites, these entities that are on them, these attachments, are aware of what I'm saying. And so they basically motivate and inspire or drive them to do those things. But they don't know that that's what it is in some cases. Other cases, like I said, these people are given instruction to do. Go put trash, something random that looks harmless to the ignorant population. That looks like not a big deal. Go throw something at their door to create an energy of unsafe. Go have somebody randomly attempt to open their door knowing that there's a camera there so that they can give this energy of unsafe and anxiety. Go have somebody act like a weirdo around them and follow them around to give them an energy of feeling unsafe. It's the same thing. Chaos, which includes destruction to the environment, which includes not just noise. This is why they get upset anytime there's any kind of a positive forward movement for the survivor or the target. This is why they get very upset when you come out of the condemned, condemned, inhumane, inhospitable, contaminated areas in which they wanted you to decay in by way of the depression and the anxiety and the asbestos and the lead, and the mold and you know what I'm saying? And rodents and all of these things that creates anxiety, unable to think clearly. It's all by design so that your life will pass by cleaning up messes. In his video, you see this person just continuing to clean and, and they're feeling empowered because they're able to keep distracting this person. You see that? It's getting interesting, isn't it?
They use this as a tactic to trap you in a loop of exhaustion, where your energy is constantly spent reacting to their damage rather than focusing on your own peace.
Constantly. Did you hear it? Did you hear it, collective, when you come on this video? That's who I'm talking to. Did you hear it? So it's by design. No matter how small and minute it appears to be to the naked, two-dimensional eye. So that all your energy is spent trying to clean up their mess, basically. Energetic mess, spiritual mess, literal mess. That all of your energy ends up being spent on basically ridding of their parasitic ways. And not the things that's, you see, outside of you, huh? Not the things that brings life to you, not the things that creates exuberance for you, but the things that's creating exhaustion. This is also why they attack your children. It's also why they attack all these things so that they can create that utter exhaustion, especially if they can't get to you. Especially then, if you have, put up very, very strong boundaries and they can't get to you. And I'm going to give you a little tip as I pause that you can even practice with me right now at the juncture of this video that will be helpful for you. Those of you that know that as a part of their tactic, they are using noisemakers, there's ways that you take back your hearing as well as your voice and break up the communication between this narc hive, because it is that. It's a parasitical hive. So what you can do is, as you hear their sudden disruptive noises, whether this be a bomb, like a firework, a loud type of a firework, whether this is a motorcycle, a car revving up, somebody outside suddenly getting super loud for whatever reason and yelling to an upstairs resident, tenant, neighbor that's one of the ops for whatever their reason is. There's actually things that you can do that still takes your power away from them. So let's try it. I saw this on TikTok and I'm going to share it with you. So you kind of just sit comfortably. There's nothing special, and we're going to do it and practice it together. You sit comfortably when this happens, because you can do it silently. This is one of those things that it doesn't require a lot. And you just sit normally in a relaxed state, and you can close your eyes. You can say out loud. You can say this first out loud if you wish. I want to hear sound that is around me, that surrounds me, external to me from within. Take some breaths, then you can say it over and over to yourself. But this is what you're doing with this. You're gonna stay with your body and relax and pay attention to the flinches of your body, because signals are going to go off. The brain is gonna send some signals to your body, to your ears and different areas, okay, to the brain. And there's going to be flinches on your face because of it. And what that is doing is going to be like flinches, lip flinches. Some of us may feel it even in different areas. Your eyes may even like burn or tear up a little bit. You may hear a pop in the ear or feel a pop. So as you sit with that quietly and you're doing that, that's the recalibration. That's the energetic recalibration that's happening when you do it. Essentially, it's disengaging the parasite, because that's what they are. It's disengaging their attempt to take your voice and their attempt to obstruct your ear chakras. And it's also going to disengage their communication amongst one another from an energetic perspective. And it is not going to hold the effect in which is why they're assigned to do that in the first place, to provoke anxiety. So you're disengaging it just like that. Okay, so let's do it together. Those of you who come on the video at some point and you realize one of their strategies, and this is a tool, like I said, I didn't come up with this. This is something I found on TikTok, okay? And so let's try it, okay? Usually this, it's ideal to do this when, if you've caught wind of them attempting to disrupt your environment. But if you like, it can no hurt with trying to do it constantly or as often as you can. Maybe that builds up the immunity and the strength of that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that together. So I want to hear sounds that surround me from within. I want to hear sounds, noises that surrounds me from within. I want to hear noises, sound that surround me from within. And now we can say it to ourselves, and then we pay attention to the flinches in our body, in our face, our eyes, our lips. You might even feel a flinch in the throat. That's saying that your throat is active now, claiming your voice. Like I said, the flinch may be, it's the eyes, the lips on each side, and you might feel a pop of ear. You may feel something in solar. Your eyes may burn or like light up, and that could be depending on how sensitive you are to energy, because it's about focus. The eyes is about focus, sight, and they're basically trying to obstruct your focus from yourself onto them. If you think of it, it's like a tantruming 3-year-old. Focus on me, focus on me, focus on me. And what is that? What's another form or another phrase for that? Give me your energy. Mm. I think he even said you may even hear some random sound in your environment. I'm not sure if he said that on that particular video, because that was a random sound we just heard there. And that could be connected. So again, it's no amount of time, a limited time that you have to do it, or a certain number. And then as you continue to do that, see how that works for you. It's a trial and error. See if you notice any shifts in your own energy, if you notice any shifts pertaining to how that affects you from, when you started doing it versus when you were not doing it. Is it helping to dissipate that? Is it becoming less and less bothersome to you, or less and less noticeable to you? Are you able to maintain more of your own focus and more into your own body and holding your voice and into the things in which you want to invest? And if it is, that's good. That's something we can put in our toolkit. I'm also going to share something else that I found in a book. And in terms of clearing energy with magical voice of ours, I love simplicity. I like the more involved things, but I tell you what, I love when something is simple and you don't have to go out and buy certain things, as well as you don't have to use a lot of external tools. I love when I stumble across stuff that we can just access in the moment without needing to gather a bunch of supplies and all of those things. And it's something, it seemed to work. I did this myself, and I'm going to continue to do it so I can, get my research on it and see how effective I think it is for me. And I invite you to do the same. I'm all about the empowerment. We are empowered. I am empowered. We are sovereign, benevolent beings of light. And we're aligning to ways in which we can make all of the trash that we are around, all of the onslaughts, all of the attacks, all of the basal energy, all of those things, how to make it our bitch. Without getting too vested and giving them too much of our energy and attention. And without being distracted from the things in which that brings us life and that we desire to co-create in our lives versus constantly cleaning up behind 3-year-olds that are adults that ain't even our responsibility to be dealing with. Okay? Okay, that was nice. So let me continue to play this, and let's see.
And when you finally break down or express frustration, they gaslight you. You're too sensitive. It's not a big deal. Or you're overreacting. Suddenly, you're no longer the one doing all the work. You're the one being made to feel crazy for even noticing. Your acts of service become proof that they control you. And deep down, they love seeing you wear yourself out trying to maintain order in a space they're determined to keep unstable. Because if you're busy cleaning, you won't have time to question them. If you're drained from tidying up their chaos, you won't have the energy to leave. That's not just laziness. That's control masked as mess. Narcissists create mess on purpose.
And that's what we need to know about all of the various forms of it. It's their sad way of trying to have some kind of power and control over you. It's their sad way of trying to affect you and trying to redirect your attention and focus onto them, because they do not know how to self-regulate in a healthy manner. They do not know how to develop and how to deal with their own emotions, their own wounds, their own traumas, their own disappointments, their own losses in a healthy manner. So anyway, that's that. Hope it serves those of you who come on later and see this video that are of benevolence, and those that aren't. Back to the ones of you that are. See how I did that? That's where we're going.